Hello everybody, if you're new here, welcome to my channel, and if not, then welcome back to another one of my videos, and welcome back to day 2 of my 5 days of Vlogmas. I really gotta find a better name for this because these are not vlogs, these are just 5 days of content that I really wanted to bring to you guys. I was able to get in 2 vlogs for this holiday season, so that was great, but today's video is a little bit different. It is a end of the year, kind of a wrap-up video, but today I'm going to be talking about my favorite releases from 2022. So about every month or so, I have a new book that was coming out that I was very much anticipating, and so in this video I'm kind of just gonna like capture all of them, I guess. We're gonna talk about my favorite ones because there were definitely some misses. There were a lot of hits as well, so we're mainly gonna talk about those today. These were books that I was like super excited to read, reading the day they came out, waiting for them forever, and just overall really excited to read. So they were published in 2022. That's the main part of this video. I have a bit of a list today, not too many, not too little, but we're just gonna go over them, what my thoughts are, if I would recommend them or not, and my overall like scale of if I was like disappointed or really blown away by it, kind of like that. So yeah, we're gonna get to the video now. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, stick around. So my favorite one by far, I was waiting for it and I didn't even know it was gonna be released until like the beginning of summer or something, but it's by far my favorite release of this year is Russian Ruin by Katherine Wiltshire. I literally have not failed to mention this in every single one of my recent videos. It's kind of ridiculous at this point, but I love this book so much. It mainly is because this is a second generation book and I have been in love with the first generation, so just by association I had to love this book, but also because the way Katherine Wiltshire wrote this was fucking incredible. I truly think Katherine Wiltshire is an underrated author. I did get a request to do a Katherine Wiltshire like author video, which is coming. I have a lot of her books on my TBR this month, but she does have a huge ass backlist. I think she has like 15, 20 books or something, so I'm slowly getting through them, and then I will definitely make an author recommendation video because they are a bit confusing and I gotta figure out which ones you should read first, but it's on its way. And obviously one that will be in that video is Russian Ruin. This to me is one of the best mafia romances I've read. I like I said, loved the parents book to this, so I had to love this one, but truly this is one of my favorite couples of all time. They are so good together. It is so hot. It's forbidden. It's angsty. There's tension. They are childhood friends to lovers. There's a bit of like mythology and lore in here too, and I loved that element. It was so fun. Did not disappoint, honestly. This was released I think the like 6th of October or something, and then the second one was just released on the 16th of December. So both 2 new releases. It is a duet, but I was literally not disappointed. We did have to wait an extra long while because I believe Russian Ruin Part 1 was supposed to be released in July, but it got pushed to October. That was fine with me. I was a little sad we had to wait, but you know, it's fine. It was so good. I loved it. A top favorite of 2022, but also a top favorite new release of 2022. Another duet that had its second part recently released is Losers by Harley LaRue. Okay, Harley LaRue, I feel like she took a little bit of a break after she wrote paranormal series, what is it called? Her Soul to Take and Her Soul for Revenge. I feel like she took a little bit of a break after that, but I don't fucking care. If they were writing this in that time where they were taking a break, who gives a fuck? This was so good. I could totally see the amount of detail and attention that Harley LaRue put into this. It was so good. It is pretty long, and that's like the only negative feedback I've heard about this series, or duet, sorry, because if you loved The Dare, which this is like kind of an expanded duet on The Dare by her, which was a novella, then literally how could you be upset with how this turned out? Unless maybe you don't like reverse harem relationships, I don't know. But yeah, I feel like I haven't heard any negative feedback about this other than the size of it. It's a thick ass book. Same with part 2, but it is just really, really good. It is definitely a really relationship-based book. There's a lot of character growth, not too much happening, but it's so good because the smut off the charts, guys. This is some of the best smut I've read. There's some scenes in here that are just wild, but I loved them. I love this relationship. It is a reverse harem and there's 4 guys, I think. It was just amazing. I don't know, not much more to say about this. I feel like Harley LaRue really put a lot of like attention into this duet and it really paid off because I really enjoyed it. Like I said, a bit more of a like person-based book, but still so good nonetheless. Another one is Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. I'm just realizing that I have a few of these on my shelf that I literally could have taken out for this video, but I forgot to. Does It Hurt was definitely a anticipated release. of 2022 because I think she announced it in like January of this year, and then she released it I think July 16th, something like that. And the wait, it was hard, but it was fine. This book was awesome for me. I feel like it was just another solid ass release from H.D. Carlton. It is not my favorite like over the cat and mouse duet, but that being said, it's a lot different, so they couldn't really relate to each other, but I still had a lot of fun reading it. It's a like kind of Grumpy Sunshine, Forced Proximity, a dark romance, but it's like also based near the water, which is not the usual vibes you get. Most of the dark romance I read is like based in a forest and it's like creepy, eerie, spooky, but this is like on the water, and that was awesome. I feel like it was pretty unique. It had some like mystery and suspense, and I loved it. You guys know when you clicked on this video, the title was Best New Releases, so basically like I'm just gonna gush over these books. You know I love them. They are my best of 2022, and this one is no exception because it was so good. I don't know. There's not much that I disliked about this. A lot that I enjoyed. I don't think it was actually a 5-star read for me. I feel like it was 4.5 or 4.75, but nonetheless, I really enjoyed it. The smut in here also, it was great. It brought in some kinks that I feel like aren't really written a lot, and it was great. It was literally great. I loved it. Definitely one of my favorite H.D. Carlton ones, but not my favorite over the cat and mouse duet. Okay, one that I haven't talked about like at all, which is ridiculous. It's Dark Poison by Bella Jewell. So this one, well, I said this in my wrap up, but I feel like this was the classic good girl, bad boy high school romance with the like tattooed, mysterious motorbike driving hero, and then the like naive good girl, best friends with her parents kind of heroine, but it's just like a little bit more advanced than that. It's like one that I would read now that I'm more into my reading journey. I know my taste a bit better. I am more refined in what I like, and I like things a little bit darker but also a little less high school. I feel like that is this book, and I was obsessed. Like when I found it, I knew I had been searching for a book like that, and then I found this and I was like, oh fuck yeah, because it was awesome and it gave all those tropes but like in a more sophisticated way, and I was obsessed. So it's a MC romance, a bit more like biker, less MC but still MC, good girl bad boy, kidnapping, a little bit darker, like not very very dark, kind of beginner but also not really, and it is just super super fucking good. Like I said, there's not much more I can say about it because it just gives all those good ass tropes and that plot and dynamic and everything, but a bit more sophisticated and matured, and I feel like it's super underrated. I personally haven't talked about it, which is kind of ridiculous. I need to talk about it, and honestly, I need to get my fucking act in gear and make a underrated recommendation video because I am kind of known for that. I mean, as much as I can with my channel being like not very huge, but I feel like a lot of you guys appreciate that I bring the underrated recommendations, and the fact that I haven't made a video just dedicated to my underrated romances is kind of fucking ridiculous because I want to be known for that, and I want to give you guys those because I feel like that's just one of my passions and my talents is finding those like hidden gem books. And yeah, this is one of them. If I made an underrated recommendation video right now, this would be in there because I've literally seen it nowhere. There is a part 2 coming to this, actually. I should say that. The part 2, I don't think is coming this year, but who knows? Maybe it'll be out like a few days after this video. I haven't heard too much about it, so I don't really know. But it was so good to me and highly underrated. It was released, I think, in like August or something. I don't really know. I just found it and read it like after it was published, so I wasn't waiting for it. It wasn't anticipated, but it was so good, and it was released in 2022, so it's on this list. The Pageant Duet by Lilith Vincent. You know what? I'm gonna grab this one. I'm editing a lot of videos for my 5 days of videos, so like the fact that I could literally just be holding these up and saving myself time on editing is something I should have realized at the beginning of this video. So yeah, this is the Crowned Duet by Lilith Vincent. I don't know why I call it the Pageant Duet, but the first book is Pageant, the second book is Crowned, so it is a duet. They both released this summer, I think. Crowned released in August, and I feel like Pageant was in May or something. This is a reverse harem mafia duet, and it was super super good. It's one of my favorite romances, like reverse harem edition. I think that was done really well. I love the different dynamics with the guys in this. I feel like in reverse harem you can kind of have romances where the guys are like one unit, where they kind of like blend together, but in this one I feel like the guys were very much their own character, and I loved that. It is really dark, but there's just like a lot of fun tropes in here. It was very engaging. It was a great mafia read, and yeah, like I said, they were both released over the summer. I was anticipating Crowned because I read Pageant first, didn't realize that the second one wasn't out, and then got really pissed at myself because I was like, it ends on a cliffhanger, and I was like, girl, we should have seen that. It is definitely a great duet. This whole list actually seems to be filled with duets and very few standalones, weirdly enough. But like I said, I had a lot of reads that I was anticipating, but a lot of them kind of disappointed me, and that's kind of unfortunate. But we're not talking about those ones today. We're talking about the good ones. And one that I was like really on the edge about putting on this list is Blood Orange by Karina Halle. This is one of those books that I did really enjoy, but I'm a little torn on it. I was like, am I adding it to the list? Am I not? I decided to add it because the book itself I really enjoyed, and like atmosphere and this whole like interconnected series I really like. But Blood Orange by itself was not my favorite. It had a few things to it that I got really annoyed by and I was kind of disappointed in, but at the same time, it was a pretty fun read. The steam of this was great. It was interesting, it was smutty, it was very atmospheric, and it's based on Dracula and his one true love, and their love was very beautiful, but also some things in it, like I said, just didn't love. So why is it on here? Because I had a great time reading it, but at the end I was kind of like, girl, there was a few things on here. But honestly, I needed a few more books for this video because I had a few and they were like the best of the best, but I wanted to include this one because I did enjoy it. I found it fun, but it wasn't like my top 5 or anything. Okay, my last book is gonna be The Words by Ashley Jade. This book came out in February, I think. Everyone just like jumped on this book as soon as it was out, myself included. I feel like this was one of those books that kind of blew up a little bit, but I haven't heard much about it since, which is kind of unfortunate. This is a Rockstar romance, and y'all know I love those. That's another thing. If you think of me, please think of my love for Rockstar romances. Like underrated books and Rockstar romances, that is me. And this one was, I think, my only Rockstar read for February. I might be incorrect actually, but it was one of my favorites. And I think as soon as it came out, I was like on that. It was great. Kind of like all the other Rockstar romances I've read. That was my only complaint about it. But at the same time, Ashley Jade brought in some like new stuff to this, some new feelings, some new, not really tropes, but like new vibes to it, and I really enjoyed it. I know she kind of writes like some contemporary and some like really darker ones, which is always fun. I love versatile authors, but I really love that she ventured into the Rockstar romance world, and I'm pretty sure she has a duet coming out about 2 of the characters that are in this world, and I think that one's coming out January 2023, so very excited for that. I really loved her spin on Rockstar romance. Yes, the plot was very similar to like the mainstream plot of Rockstar romances, but I'm very excited to see her next duet that's coming out about the next characters, and I hope that that's on my list like this that I do next year. So everybody, that is the end of today's video. I realized as I was filming this that it is a bit of a shorter video, and I didn't really do too much of like a recommendation style for these books. It was kind of just like an overview of my thoughts on it, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a lovely holiday season if you celebrate. As always, my links to Goodreads, email, wish list, all of that are down in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Happy reading, and I'll see you guys in my next video very soon.